This is an extension of section 4.2. This is not the video for 4.2, but this is an extension. Parallel and perpendicular lines. So I'm going to start off by just telling you right now what the first two key ideas are. The first key idea is on parallel lines. Parallel lines have the exact same slope. That's it. Parallel lines have the same slope. If you have two parallel lines, their slopes are always going to be the same. The second key idea are perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines have slopes whose product is -1. That means if you multiply both slopes together, you will get -1. The slopes are opposite reciprocals of each other. So for example, on the first key idea, let's say I said one slope is 2, the other slope is 2. You know that these lines are parallel. If, on the example at the bottom, I said a slope was 1/4 and the other slope was -4, that means they are perpendicular. There are two ways to know it. Number one, 1/4 times -4 gives you -1 as a product. Or you could just look at it and say, is one positive and one negative? Are they opposite of each other? Yes. Are they reciprocals of each other? Meaning, are they flipped? Yes, 1/4. If you flip 1/4, it'd be 4/1. And if you took the opposite of that, it's -4/1, which is -4. So, another example would be this. 2/3. What's the opposite reciprocal of 2/3? It'd be -3/2. You have to flip it and change the sign, the opposite reciprocal. You do not have to graph this, but I would like you to make just a quick diagram or a rough sketch of what it looks like. But I definitely want you to write the work. So we have three lines here. We have a red line, a blue line, and a green line. You have to prove that they are parallel. In order to prove the parallel, we have to find the slope. All you do in order to find the slope is either subtract your x's and y's, like using the formula for slope, or it's really easy, since we have a drawing, to just count up and over. So we start at the left on the red line. How many up? How many over? So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. So up 4 over 1. That means my red line has a slope of 4 over 1. My blue line goes up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. So my blue line goes up 5 over 1, meaning the slope is 5. My green line goes up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Up 4 over 1 is rise over run. 4 over 1 is 4. So which two lines are parallel? Well, red and green. Why? Because their slopes are the same. So we know the red line and the green line are parallel because they both have the same slope of +4. In the last problem, we have to prove that they are perpendicular. Which two lines are perpendicular? And prove it. Now remember, perpendicular means lines that form 90-degree angles. So we need to figure out, does the blue line here and the green line form 90-degree angles? Or does the red line and the green line form 90-degree angles? So we find the slope of each line. If you find the slope of each line, I'm going to use I'm going to change my color here to like pink. All right, let's find the slope of, let's see, we have a red line, blue line, and green line. So using pink, I'm going to start with the red line. I'm going to start here at the left because I have to go down and then to the right. So how many down? 1, 2. How many to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I go down 2 over 7. Down 2 over 7 gives you -2/7. Okay, now go to the blue line. Oops, I just realized I wrote that in the wrong spot. So let me move that. Okay, it's not going to let me move it, so I'm just going to cross that out. That's my fault. So the red line was negative 2/7. The blue line, down and to the right. So that'd be down 2, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my blue line is down 2/6, so that'd be negative 2/6, which gives me negative 1/3. Now my green line goes up, so we have to count up and to the right. So how many up? We go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up 7, to the right 2. So up 7, to the right 2 gives me 7 halves. So we have a slope of negative 2/7, a slope of negative 1/3, and a slope of 7 halves. Which two slopes are opposite reciprocals of each other? Which one's positive, one's negative, and which ones are flipped? Well, it'd be the red and green line. And to prove it, you would prove to me that negative 2/7 times 7/2, which gives me negative 14/14, that gives me a product of negative 1. And because the two slopes have a product of negative 1, the lines are perpendicular, and so the red and green lines form the 90-degree angles.